Africa is badly impacted by climate change. So, as an African youth, I believe we will need to connect together, to work together, creating things for our region.
I am an African.
Sustainable development doesn't mean that we need to have towers, that we need to have a 1 terabit internet per second. That doesn't mean that we
Mhm.
need to ride electric cars all over the city. No, that's not sustainable development. Sustainable development means that we need to use what we need from this earth and to conserve what is remaining on it. And that is what's happening in Oman. In Oman, you can't find a building more than 3 floors. Some few buildings are 7 floors, but it is like an international hotels or something like that. It is very common to find an old car running on the streets. Not very old, but 2010, 2015, something like that. And you don't see that people are chasing each other to show the level of lifestyle they have. The,
Lamborghinis and stuff.
yeah, these people are living in peace. They understand the true meaning and the real value of sustainable development. There is no fancy things in any street. On the other side, I wasn't in UAE, and personally, I experienced a lot of differentiation even between people. In Oman, if I stopped over on the side of the road to take a break, I found that everyone stopped asking about me. If you need anything, if you need support, and when I had a flat tire, people stayed with me for 3 hours to fix this issue, and they made sure that I'm already on the road again. There is a human connection. It is not about only the culture or the habits. There is a human connection. They value the human, whatever your nationality, your color, whatever you are doing, you are a human for them. And there is a lot of respect. You feel that these people is respecting everything, respecting the life, respecting the resources, respecting people, and they are very keen on everything. On the other side, in larger cities like Dubai, I have been stuck in specific point for 1 hour trying to cross the street and no one tried to stop to me. Everyone is in rush.
Wow.
You feel in these countries that the life it is a war. Who will win and who will lose?
Mm.
And in Saudi Arabia, things are very, very different. Saudi Arabia is a very large country, but you will find a huge cities on the middle of the desert with high buildings, exotic cars, a lot of emissions, a lot of ECs working 24 hours. So I believe, I'm trying to be diplomatic. But to be honest with you, we need to count communities who are creating emission businesses who don't understand the value of the earth where we are living, the value of what they are doing. They're keen only about the net profits, the income, how we will look better against other communities or other countries. I believe that countries is competing each other and increasing the GDP. So
Yeah.
what is your benefits from GDP if you lost lands, if you lost lives, if you lost your future? What's in it for the country and what's in it for for the people in this country? Yeah, as I end, I'm in love with Oman. Yeah, and actually, it was a great experience for me. The people, the lands, the regulations, the laws, how they deal with each other, how they deal with the nature, with the resources, with everything. By the way, Oman is really a big country they already have a lot of oil and gas resources. They can consume all the gas and oil from their land and building the highest tower on the world, and they can do whatever they want. But the mindset here is the difference between nations. Most of other nations, I found that they are competing each other. I will build the largest city, and I will build the largest tower, and I will do blah blah. Everything is
Mm.
is, is about the competition, not the life.
Yeah.
You get the point?
Yeah.
That's it. And I try to be political, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I,
I
I
think,
think
You're trying to be diplomatic. You've already said Dubai is not much of a community place. So I think that I think you've already
and
yeah.
the sad thing is, يعني, I found a lot of people already impacted, most of poor people already impacted by climate change, and yeah, they are not targeted by climate change efforts, development, initiatives, funds. They are not a target. You got my point? They are not even on the target. Not to mention, if they are a target and we couldn't reach them, they are not even a target. So I found a lot of nice words, buzzwords, but on the ground, I found things are really different. When it comes to Africa, the economical situation is much worse than other countries I visited. So I believe in Africa, the situation is very different, and Africa is badly impacted by climate change. So as an African youth, I believe we will need to connect together and to work together, creating things for our region, starting from building sustainable transportation to use our resources, building the capacity of youth with the needed resources, use the funds from different countries well in something for people on the ground. I have been working in development sector for many years. I found a lot of projects. It is like a buzz. It is like for social media, we did blah 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 for press releases, only about products that we will reduce our emissions X% by 23. What is your plan? Okay, I don't see a plan.
Yeah.
Okay, what you will do, how you will achieve that. That's my main concern.
yeah, no, I think when you're mentioning some of the things in your answer, it seems like you're focusing a lot on um there's a part where you seem to be talking about people a lot. You seem to be focusing a lot on people, which
Yeah.
is something that I tend not to hear from certain uh I should call it voices from climate activists, because I generally I haven't necessarily read enough, I think, to necessarily have an opinion on the whole climate change issue. However, there are some concerns in my opinion, which is, maybe you can correct me in my thinking, which is, um I tend to see generally, like, with the when it comes to this climate, the climate issue, it seems to me that generally, from my understanding, climate change seems to focus on the economical, the social, and the environmental, right? And from my opinion, particularly when it comes to there seems to be a giant push for electric vehicles. However, at the same time, there's neg uh, I think people have neglected, uh, where those resources actually come from. So, like, areas like Congo and
Yeah.
other countries. Yeah, exactly. And uh,
Zambia.
Zambia as well. So, like, but there seems to be a
Extractive copper. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You seem to neglect these sorts of issues. Whereas I do believe that, yes, for sure, we definitely need to be better with our environment and how we take care of this planet, and it has to be a more sustainable, because we need to make sure that the future generations have uh resources. But also at the same time, you have this negative. I don't know if I can call it a negative. Yeah, I guess a negative impact from what we're doing. So am I wrong in my thinking, or do you think it's possible for um climate, climate activists or climate change to sort of have this win-win-win situation?
Okay, first of all, I just need to tell you that I am climate actionist, not activist.
Oh, I love
Okay,
it.
we
Love
need
it. Love it.
activists.
Yeah.
We need
Yeah.
people taking actions. Okay,
Mhm.
we the people already have an activists about many topics. It's okay to raise awareness. It's okay to make a noise around specific cause, but at this moment, I believe 90% of people on this planet know what is climate change and what we need to tackle this critical issue. When it comes to resources and when it comes to solutions, let me tell you that having everyone riding an electric car will not solve the issue. Okay, there is a cost of emissions coming with each electric car, from mining to manufacturing to transportation to XYZ. Okay, so I believe we need to start with the main emissions distributors, which they are very known for everyone, and they are refusing to convince about this issue as reducing emissions will impact their GDP and will impact their power on the world. So I believe the first solution and the most important solution to tackle this issue on this planet is peace. Okay, is peace, is love, is understanding, and I'm really honest about that. I have seen many stories on the ground. Over the past 3 years, I have been riding from a cop to cop. And recently, I remember an article I published on LinkedIn about the impact of armed conflict on climate change.
Hmm.
Recently, the war of Gaza or only uh, had an emissions of a small country, a small war on a small country reduced an emission for one country over a year. Do you know how many armed conflict situation on Earth right now?
No.
Over 100 armed conflict.
Wow.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that's quite sad. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, that's crazy. So I believe humanity need more than traditional solutions, need more than a conference to announce commitments and strategies to be done over the next 15 years. If they need to solve these issues, they need to take real actions,